Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It is in fact 9 p.m. here, all the way in the Southeast Asian region. I'm Babael. With me is Lark. We are just about to bring you a game between the most best teams in Southeast Asia. That's gonna be Southeast Asia's very own S2y. Sorry, versus denial esports from the international community. So it's gonna be a really good and exciting match that is gonna be covered here on EGTV. That's it. Just gonna be waiting for the game to begin. I do believe Lark actually went for dinner first.
No, I'm here. I'm
Oh,
here.
I'm professional as always. There we go.
What? How is it unprofessional?
Yeah, it's just kidding if you're just messing with me, but that's it. We are waiting for the game to start very soon. They are just verifying the credentials of a few other casters. Um,
I think they're
once they have,
from. I think they're from the Green. Are you?
yeah, I think so as well. Since this guy's from Cats Gaming and it's pretty much a RU team.
Yeah. They've been stealing our viewers today. How dare they?
Yeah, they have been, but those are Russian viewers, so we're pretty much cool.
Can't wait
That's
for
it.
this game though.
Yeah,
Denial. I haven't really gotten to see them play as much, so I don't know too much about the team. I know that they are kind of on the rise. They recently won a couple of games against Stay Green, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be the case. That's it. Waiting to see if this is actually going on schedule. There we go. The countdown beginning quickly, and we will just nicely change screens for you guys quickly. And Deny gonna be Legion side. We got s2y on the HoN side, and most of this Thai fancy right now want to make sure that s2y has got a pretty good game going into today's series. This is the first game s2y will play against, and that would be Denial. And in general, that would be a pretty interesting series coming out to you guys.
Yeah, we definitely love all the games that we're gonna get to cast. I mean, this coming few days. I mean, Dreamhack Winter is just so good, and it's always exciting to see all the things that these top tier teams can bring to the table. And I'm just excited for this because S2Y is finally gonna be in the mix with all these international top tier teams.
Yep, that's gonna be the case so far. The ban hero is going to be the Sandwave straight up from Zilab there, as well as the Pestilence, and S2y banning out the bubbles. Now, Sandwave is a very devastating ban as compared on the S2y roster. Why is this so? Because both Sandwave as well as Pestilence are more or less being played in the Southeast Asian region, so he is pretty much updated to the Southeast Asian meta here. And Sandwave, Pestilence, all gonna be nicely addressed, so we will not be able to see Baxley actually playing as a Sandwave. And that's Jacob TM for you guys from the international scene. He is the same guy, by the way. And we also got Pestilence, and not gonna be able to just be seen on Mr. Sans, but I want to see some Pebble section today. Always good to see Mr. Sans playing the Pebbles role. In general, that's gonna be very good gankish route as well as stuff coming up from S2y. It is just nicely synergizing with the rest of his team as well. They also like to run a keeper of the forest, so that is one of those heroes that is definitely gonna be picked up by S2y side. But because Team Denial have got the, well, they believe to go for the first pick, they might want to pick up the Tempest or the Keeper, depending on what they want to opt for now.
Yeah, I mean Tempest Keeper is always a good pick, but there's always that Engineer on the board as well. You know, Engineer's a very very strong hero. They're already right click shadow picking that Engineer. I'm thinking that they're gonna go for it over there, and I think Hellburn is gonna respond really quickly with something like a Master of Arms, and then follow it into uh, maybe even a mid hero. But there is still Keeper and Tempest on the board. They're trying to shadow pick this Keeper right now. They could potentially go for it first, but I don't think that's the best first pick that they can actually get in my opinion.
Yeah, but that's gonna be the case. That said, do note that Mayfest actually won the role, and they decided to be on the help on side. So Denial gonna have the first pick, and that's gonna be really good in terms of drafting, but only in terms of drafting. And right now, it's gonna be up to Zilab to see whether he can really outsmart S2y's Yet's Naja that's drafting and just throw him into a really bad draft. And do not, because it's a best of one series, guys. There's no point in just too much of an emphasis in much of these later games, because this is just the best of one series against both teams, and they will only be able to just mix and meet each other again should they progress to the semifinals. And that's it. It's gonna be a Tempest pickup by S2y. That's gonna be really good.
Yeah, Tempest of course is a very strong pick, but Keeper is so easily gonna counter that hero. I think Denial Esports know that. They're gonna pick it up right off the bat. I mean, there's no question without a doubt that they should pick up the Keeper. Keeper will help out a lot as well for them. There's a lot of certain heroes they can go for. They actually opt for going War Beast. I guess that's kind of okay because there's that push potential. I guess they were kind of hoping to get both the Keeper and the Tempest on top of that War Beast to have that early game push potential, and unfortunately, they want to get that here because Keeper is on that Legion team. They can possibly go for Rally. I mean, we did see Rally in Stay Green's lineup in the very first game of the day where they actually dominated with that on top of Tempest, so that could be a possibility as well.
Yeah, man, that's it. It's gonna be a little bit too greedy if you want to have both the keeper, Tempest, plus the war base. That's in general a very good, strong pushing kind of a lineup coming from Team s2y. But right now, even without a keeper, they're pretty much gonna be okay. Tempest farms a lot better than a keeper in the jungle role, and that is pretty much try and test already with the war base, battle cry. That's gonna be extra pushing potential. But hold that up because denial now gonna have the Ophelia with the keeper, of course. So both of them are pretty good early game pusher as well. You got also the engineer, pretty good anti-push strategy coming up from the engineer, and a very awesome energy field. So that being said, engineer plus keeper of the forest will mean extra damage on the boss straight up there. And it's going to be an MOA pickup, so pretty much things are sizing up coming from both sides, but it's so far so good.
Yeah, really good for, I have to say, really good for Legion team because they have sizable amount of push as well on top of the Ophelia and Keeper, a lot of ability to have that defensive mechanisms. They have energy field to work with. That's also a very, very good skill to have on the Legion team. As for Hellborn, they have the Tempest, they have the War Beast. That War Beast, of course, with the Battle Cry, are gonna help out a lot in terms of the laning phase, as well as when they want to address pushing towers. Unfortunately, Tempest, I do believe, can also he's gonna have to worry a lot about getting cancelled by Ophelia as well as this Keeper.
Yep, definitely so. So that being said, Zlab straight away betting on the Belfer goal. He does have the first pick, but he's not going to go for that role as well. He knows the Help on team wants to look into that one, and it's going to be pretty good to see. Yet Snaja, however, betting out the Slither, and I'm not too sure, but maybe the fans can let me know on the Twitch channel. Does Denial normally run a Slither lineup?
If I'm not mistaken, Slither, I think it's just one of those niche picks that are currently on the rise as well. I do know that Lions Esports runs that a lot. They, in fact, they actually ran that against if I'm not mistaken, TMSR just now in the previous game, the first game of the day actually, and they actually lost to TMSR, so it wasn't as effective, I guess, because it's like that damage over time rather than that burst damage, which you kind of want, especially in a game like HoN. So, Slither, I guess they just don't want to deal with that because of the wards and the way his ulti works and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty good. That's a Zilab also going to ban on Torture. Torture, one of those heroes that we definitely see a lot of times on s2y before. Very successful in terms of push, but Zilab is just going to just nicely ban on most of this pushing hero coming from the Hellborn side. Balfour God, Torture, all pretty good tower pushing abilities there. In general, that's just gonna be really good for Zilab, man, and he does have the first pick, so we need to really remember about that one. That's it. Yet another gonna follow up with a nice rally ban, and rally is just gonna be able to just nicely address the mid lane problem that Zilab's lineup don't have right now. He does have the engineer, the keeper, and the Ophelia, but he doesn't have the mid lane and the suicide yet. I mean, keeper can go suicide, but definitely is going suicide because there's Ophelia in this team. So what am I saying?
Yeah, exactly. Keeper, Suicide, Ophelia, and the Jungle, Engineer, that main support. They just need to address their mid, their carry. I don't think they would have picked up Rally in this kind of situation. I think even Rally would have been much more better for the Hellburn's lineup because of that wombo combo with the Tempest. But of course, it is kind of hard to pull off that strategy. Kraken, actually, yeah, we haven't really addressed that hero as well. Kraken, another very, very strong offlane hero. Right now, that offlane is definitely going to be that War Beast, Jungle Tempest, Master of Arms, and going to be in that mid lane with. I'm not sure who they're going to pick up for that mid lane. For now, because both teams actually are both addressing that mid and the what do you call this, the support. Wait, sorry, no, the mid and the carry. Yeah, what am I talking about?
Yep, so that's it. Revenant gonna be coming from Denial side, and that's gonna be really good. Some guns finally gonna stick into the Legion side in general. Revenant, pretty good hero with the Storm Blades, a lot of extra damage there as well. I want to see how that's gonna really work out in terms of the Legion mid lane against Hellborn. Now Hellborn, pretty good stuff as well. Warbeast definitely going to side Tempest in the jungle. MOA should be at the mid lane or the top lane playing as the support. Or also like to see what s2y is gonna have under the belt. They do not Kraken being banned away as well as the Demeter Shaman. Now D-Sham is actually a very good pushing hero, but yet Snaja banning out themselves. They seem to have a little bit extra alternative here, but not gonna go for the usual pushing kind of a full lineup. So no Bioflagor to work with, no Torture, no D-Sham. They're gonna pick a support first, so that's pretty good. Glacier's going to the other way, that's pretty alright if you ask me. But in general, I want to see some mid lane aggression. So I want to see the Prisoner 945 that has been Shadow Pick, or maybe even the very good Pebbles.
Yeah, this is interesting though because now they actually are probably gonna run Master of Arms in that carry-ish role, which I guess is kind of okay. You have offlane War Beast, Tempest Jungle, because they picked up the Glacius already, so Glacius is going to be the main support. I don't think they're going to be running the Master of Arms Glacius dual support, because that's just kind of retarded. And it could even be a Master of Arms mid. We actually saw Imperial Storm run that a couple of days ago. Although they are shadow picking Prisoner, which I think is a pretty okay pick. It will synergize with Tempest, but is it the best hero that they can go for? Probably not against this Legion lineup.
Yep, and that's gonna be the case so far. I mean, Hellbound team looks to be pretty decent, and Papa and Master gonna be the character for DJ inside. That's gonna be really good with the Whiplash buff recently. Maybe not so recent after all, but it's gonna deal a little bit extra damage on every 4th strike. The critical damage will come out straight up, and also the fact that you will have an increased 0.5 times in terms of critical damage every single time Whiplash is procced. That said, Zilap needs to go to the toilet.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting to see. That's kind of funny. Here, pause the game start. Yeah, okay, but drafting wise, yeah, Puppet Master, of course, another hero that's on the rise as well. Puppet Master, very very strong carry in his own right, and the ability to just snipe out someone, because the range on that the puppet, the link is I think it was extended or something that previously in the past few patches. So that's another good buff over there with Puppet Master, and the fact that any debuffs that happens onto the puppet gets applied to the main target as well. So it's very very effective in that sense. They have a lot of teamfight potential, a lot of push potential, and they have the late game secured as well. Like Revener, Puppet Master, they're pretty strong. You have Keeper to instantly cancel out the Tempest ultimate. Hellborn, they do have late game as well because of that War Beast. Tempest, of course, if he gets a huge elemental void off, he can always turn the games around. Because if he gets something like a Restoration Stone, that could be another good thing for them. So it seems like it's going to be Master of Arms carry. I do believe that Backstick Astri is going to be playing that.
Yeah, but that's gonna be the case. That's a little bit of a good point from the viewers there. It is actually pretty questionable. I mean, Legion side, they have got a pretty good lock in place there. That's gonna be the keeper's route, but is it gonna be really effective? Because there is no AoE damage at all. Nothing of the sort. You can consider the engineer's nice little energy field to be a little bit of a DOT, or maybe even a little bit of extra damage there, but something not as devastating as the Wretched Hex Bad Blast. You don't also have the big, the big eruption and stuff like that to deal with. So it's gonna be really bad for Team Legion in terms of big team fights. And speaking about team fight, Hellborn side, pretty decent themselves, but they also lack AoE. Yes, they have the Void coming out from the Tempest. They also have got pretty good stuff from Prisoner. Prison Break definitely is going to do a little bit extra damage and stun as well, but they don't have the guns as well. Maybe you can maybe just nicely consider Glacier Downpour to be a little bit of the AoE damage, but I highly doubt that. That said, gonna use this opportunity right now to just introduce both teams as well as players coming from both sides. On the Legion side, gonna be denial.esports there, and Zilep gonna lead the squad. He's gonna be playing as the Ophelia. We got I'd rather Mickey there. It's gonna be your Keeper of Force. Probusk onto the Revenor, support playing as the support, and that would be the Engineer. Last but not least, going to carry, and that's going to be Flenmeister there, and that would also be the Puppet Master. And on the Hellborn side, we got a Maeve s2y all the way from Thailand, and that is correct. They're now at Dreamhack ground, so don't worry about the latency. There is no lag at all for them. It should be perfectly alright. Yet Snadra going to lead the squad, also the Drafter. That would be the Tempest. Good to see that as well. He was known as Peter Yates in the Southeast Asian scene for our friends and fans from this region. ESC will also be known as ESC. Good old ESC playing the Suicide Lane. That would be the War Beast. We also got Jacob Tien, also known as Backstick Gashry, and he's going to be the MOA. Glacius there, going to be known as S-Core or Discore. It's the same guy. He will be playing as the Glacius, like I mentioned before. And last but not least, Mr. Sans in the mid lane, going to be playing onto the Prisoner 945. Sad to see no Pebbles, but this guy should be able to just nicely fulfill the role as a Prisoner also.
Yeah, I mean, Prisoner was Pebbles. I don't think Pebbles was actually banned out in this game, if I'm not mistaken. He could have actually gone for that option. It maybe could have been better, but of course, I guess the Prisoner 945 is that's that much more better. Like, he gets someone out of position by hooking them in. The entire Legion team, not Legion team, Hellborn team is just gonna compile into him, kill him really quickly, and then push after that. Like, always having the numbers advantage is always good, and especially with the current lineups coming from both these teams. Tempest, of course, is going to be heavily harassed by the Keeper and the Ophelia if he gets a lot of Skeleton Kings. I'm curious to see what kind of creeps he's going to go for, and whether or not he's going to get that RNG factor in his favor.
Yep, definitely love to see that. That being said, though, game is just now paused. In case you're wondering why we are paused, we are paused because the lab needs to pee.
Yep, needs to pee, man. You need to get that.
When a guy needs to go, a guy needs to go.
Exactly, man. Mother Nature. What are you talking about?
I have to understand that. I believe most of our viewers today will understand that kind of a logic. And that said, this is after all a pretty big game. Did a best of one, so pretty much unorthodox strategy are very much welcome in this group stages. And like I did a little bit of research before, in the previous game, it was actually going to be from both sides. And I do believe that in the previous game, it was between SG and IG. And it's just SG winning them. So there is no points. If you win, you win, and there's no lose, there's no draw. So win, you get as much wins as you can, and that's gonna help you go into tomorrow's rounds. And tomorrow's rounds will be against the BYOC teams, and in general, that's gonna help them a lot because after those rounds will be the relegation matches, and then after that we have the semi-finals, which is gonna be a really big event going to day 1, 2, and 3 here. Do note we will be covering this entire event, Dreamhack Winter, both me, Babael, as well as Lark. We hope you guys enjoy our cast. It's gonna be in full English. So we hope you guys will be able to just enjoy the extra coverage that the usual mainstream it wasn't able to just nicely bring about. That said though, this game pretty exciting to see that. But who do you think has got the advantage going to the mid stages and the late stages, Lark?
Mid stages, it's really dependent on a couple of factors. I do believe early game Legion team can probably crush them really quickly because Ophelia is just a hero that can easily rotate off the jungle whenever they want to. Probus that's playing the Revenor, he can be very aggressive in team fights depending on how the mid lane goes. But him and Engineer mid should probably win against this Glacius and what they call Prisoner 945 lane because it doesn't really have the highest kill potential unless you get hooked in next to the tower. You get a ice imprisonment on top of that. Then you're most probably gonna die. But of course, I think these players, they know how to avoid hooks. The hook actually from Prisoner 945 is not that easy to land, so it's gonna be interesting to see. But I do believe that early game, if denial esports can get that snowball advantage, push down towers really quickly with the way their heroes work, they definitely could have a good shot at winning this in the mid as well as late.
Yeah, but that's gonna be the case so far. So game 1 and only gonna begin soon here, and Denial gonna be a Legion side like I mentioned before, main talent s2y on the Hellbound side, so it's pretty good to see that. And that said, s2y now is just gonna be at the Hellbound jungle, just nicely defending. They know very important to just defend this jungle spot because they don't want yet Snarger to be affected in terms of farming, and you don't want any wards incoming to just block out the pool camps, rather most of these camps in general from the Hellbound team. That said, Keeper is going top lane, but doesn't have a ward in his inventory, so he should be okay. And Legion side also pretty much obsessed with defending their own jungle. But Warbeast has just got only one water side. I do believe it is going to be used for vision purposes as compared to just blocking the camp. Okay, it's going to be landed there. And I think that Team Legion might actually want to do something about that one. Depending on whether they are just going to go in.
Yeah, Phil's going to easily counter it. I mean, he warded that in pure vision. Like, why would you want to do that against a team? I mean, against denial esports, when you saw that Puppet Master was already sitting over there, even though he was trying to shadow it with his Hellhounds. Unfortunately, that ward gets quickly blocked off, which means that Ophelia is easily going to be able to take that hard camp and eventually set up for ganks mid or even bottom if he wants to, because a Warbeast doesn't have any early game escape mechanisms unless he reaches the level 6 for that metamorphosis.
Yep, he definitely needs that for the extra movement speed as well as the attack speed. So in general, Warbeast is looking for a pretty good game at the bottom lane here. But it's not going to be good news for him because here is a PM as well as Ophelia in the jungle. It's not going to mean that he will have a good time. However, he's going to use the Hellhound to nicely try and pull the camp, as in the creeps away. That's going to be really effective. Ophelia trying his best to just hammer onto the Hellhound, but Hellhound's going to be pretty successful for the first part of this wave. He is going to have to be a little bit more careful when it comes to the second pull from the bottom lane.
Yeah, at least the thing is, Escape is gonna get a huge wave of creeps to work with. I don't think he's gonna be in time to pull it towards the middle of the tower. The creeps are, nah, he's a little bit too late for this, so he's gonna actually have to take the tower damage, not the tower damage, or let the towers do damage towards the creeps unless he wants to spawn a set of Hellhounds and just do his own thing. He's actually wasting a lot of regen by doing this. Unfortunately, he was not able to pull that really properly. Top lane Master of Arms against the Keeper of the Forest. I think this is, of course, Keeper should have an easy game here at a top lane. Of course, being inherently the melee hero with the hatchet, gonna easily pick up on some farm middle lane. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, if Refinar gets hooked out or this Engineer gets hooked out, then most probably we're gonna see a kill onto either of these heroes.
Yeah, but that's it. Warbeast still only has got 2 creep farm, and in general, that's not going to be good for him at all. That said, Hellbound creeps is just really pestering onto Puppet Master. Puppet Master taking too much beating for my liking, but that's a little bit of the good work there. In general, still, Warbeast, I wish he had done a little bit of a better job in terms of pulling the entire lane, but nope, he just doesn't have that nicely addressed. And that said, oh, I know so far, 2 minutes going to be out real soon. Ruin's going to spawn for the first time, and Ophelia taking too much of a beating from the jungle as well. Ophelia needs to be really careful. Zilab there, he doesn't have any regeneration yet.
Yeah, doesn't have any regen. He purchased I think he purchased a couple of items or stack regen for the rest of his teammates. Let me take a quick look. Yeah, there's some stack regen for Revenor over in mid. You look at Engineer. He's just helping to stack out this triple stack. Well, not really triple. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so triple stack the small camp over there for Ophelia to work with, especially if you get something like a Vulture Lord. The regeneration rune is gonna be picked up, I think, or actually killed off, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah.
If that's gonna be the case so far, still all in all into this game. Mid lane is gonna be Prisoner 945 as well as Glacius up against Revenor. I do believe the engineer is gonna be supporting him in this lane, as his name nicely suggested. So it's gonna be pretty good to see that as well. That's it, man. For all you guys who don't know that, I do believe the engineer support actually came from VDT, and that's a pretty good team that has been disbanded, unfortunately enough, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, support is from there. He really loves his signature empath hero, although he's not going to be able to get it. I think he did rotate around a couple of heroes that he can, or he feels comfortable playing. Engineer is probably one of those heroes. I think even Master of Arms, but yeah, definitely would love to see him in that empath role in future games. But yeah, top lane though, Master of Arms is actually being able to do a lot of harass the keeper. Even gonna use a stun. So just wants to quickly harass this keeper out of lane and force him to pop up all this regen, and a lot of this work is due to the fact that Warbeast has that level 2 already and spamming out the battle cry.
Yeah, Mickey here not having a very good time up against Jacob Tian. Jacob Tian playing the MOA is just boxing him out completely. That's it. He's gonna have pretty good farm at the top lane as well. And 3 minutes in already, it seems like most of the creeps are gonna be pushed out here at the top lane. That's not gonna be good for Jacob Tian, however, because he needs to at least maintain some lane control. And so far, looking at that, creep farming, top lane, well, Keeper is standing a pretty good farm, 12 and 1. That's pretty decent. MOA on the flip side is at 14 and 3, so pretty much fair as well. That's a mid lane engagement happening really soon, and even ball lane gonna be used, and ball lane going in. Stormblades as well. Glacius is a lot of trouble. Here comes the stun by Zilap's Minotaur. Really good to see that, and it's gonna be a Bloodlust going for Probus. Probus doing a lot of good work there. That's it. Hook's gonna reel in the kill, and support going down. That's gonna be pretty good for S2y, but Prisoner 945 trying to run away right now. Can he get it done? Is the question. Ball lightning going in really quickly, and Tempest gonna land a stun, and it seems like S2y might want to turn this around, but they have to think twice about it because there is also a Minotaur behind, and Minotaur, man, is just so strong in the early stages of this game, and you also get Ophelia in their moment as well. So those are pretty much extra attack coming from Team Legion side.
Yeah, it's kind of a decent exchange, I guess, because both the mid players did get the pickoffs onto the supports. Both supports died. Good job by Tempest to come in and support Mr. Suns. If not, he would have definitely died over there. Huge mana for Mr. Suns. Really well played by him. He actually has his bottle delivery. He's gonna get an Inverse Rune at the bottom lane, so that's good for him as well.
Yep, it's going to be that said, Mickey at the top lane, level 5 already, still needs a little bit more farm, and also nearly the extra item. That said, it seems like MO is still going to be able to just unleash a little bit extra damage and aggression onto the Keeper. Keeper needs to be really safe here. That's it, Keeper's regeneration actually completely burned through, and he doesn't have any more health potion there, but it's just very close to the top observatory there, so he should be able to just pick up a little bit of extra regeneration should he need it. That said, mid lane, level 4 Prisoner against level 5 Revenor. It is pretty clear to see that Revenor has got a slight level advantage here. But in terms of farming, let me just check through. Revenor 18 and 3, Prisoner 945 at 20 and 5. So pretty much still fair and dead even here. And then mid lane, bottom lane, however, different story altogether. We got Warbeast 12 and 4 in there, and PM at about 24 and 6. So PM nicely winning this lane, and it's gonna be really because of the fact that Warbeast missed us his full, and is not really good with that.
Yeah, that hurt him quite a bit. Puppet Master level 6 already, so can probably kill this Warbeast by himself if he wants to. He's probably gonna transition into a Whispering Helm, or well, I mean, looking at the way it is, it's 300 gold per minute. You could probably go for the Whispering Helm, and then after that, the Assassin Shroud. I think that's probably like the go-to item for a Puppet Master to get that
and
first damage middle lane.
Goes in quickly. Where's the Shackle? Shackle not used. Not enough mana on Prisoner 945, but it seems like the Revenor is going to be okay, and that's somewhat a little bit of good news. It seems like Glacius wasn't able to just land the Ice Imprisonment there, but it's actually off cooldown.
Huge misplay. That was a huge misplay. He actually froze the creep over there.
Oh, wow.
So that was unfortunate for them.
No excuses today because you are at a LAN event, so it is just really a misplay, and it's not due to latency problem, so it's pretty good to see that as well. That's it. A little bit sad to see it coming from Hellborn side, but look at the Void going up at the top lane. Keeper in a lot of trouble. Keeper, you thought it gonna be the perfect counter, but he goes down to the same old gimmick tree coming up from the Tempest. The Tempest picks up the kill really easily. Me on the flip side, Flammeister picks up the kill on Escape, like you nicely mentioned before. The Hellhounds are not gonna be good enough against this PM, and PM, man, just gonna be the Prime Minister for this game. Really good to see that, and Warbeast just got addressed at a suicide. So far, pretty good coming from both teams.
Yeah, it's really well played by them. Keeper, I mean, Master of Arms, sorry, not Master of Arms, the hell. Puppet Master picked up the solo kill, kind of expected. Oh, Ophelia might be able to pick up a kill on Glacius though.
Ophelia going in for the kill on Glacius, but Glacius is gonna be okay. I do believe that just the stun there from the Minotaur onto him is gonna be insufficient, or rather insufficient to pick up a kill. And there is also the Catman Champion that has been frozen in ice because of Ice Imprisonment. It's just so effective against creeps, the Ice Imprisonment skill. So that is one of the main reasons why Glacius should be safe against an Ophelia.
Yeah, definitely. Master of Arms at the top lane, by the way. After getting the first blood, continuing his aggression. Warbeast is level 5 now, so the mana cost on that Battlecry is only gonna be, if I'm not mistaken, it should be only, yeah. Oh no, it's not level 2. Sorry, not level 3. It's actually level 2. It's 10 mana cost, of course, very little for him. You can just spam that out every time he has it available. Puppet Master just getting continuously harassed by the Hellhounds, by the way. So yeah.
Yep, he's going to be, and that's it. So far, 2-2, 7 minutes into this game. 900 goalie for Team HoN. HoN looking to be in a little bit of a good spot so far. But Legion side, denial.esports, man, they definitely have got the guns to win this game. Look at that PM. Flint Meister already with pretty good farm, 366 GPM already, and that is by far not the top in this whole game. But yes, it's still pretty reliable for a carry. And speaking about the top for this whole game, it's going to be the Tempest. So Tempest about 390 GPM, and that's Tempest in the jungle. So jungle Tempest is it's a pretty much good guidance for success. Like I always mentioned before, as long as the Tempest has got above 330 GPM into any stage of this game, you should have a pretty good farm. You should be looking at quick portal key very soon.
Portal key, yeah, it could be an option since there's a lot of disables coming out from this Legion team. He wants to get the jump potential, or he could just build very tanky and more of like team fight-ish items. You know, Tablet of Command, the what's it called, the Astrolabe, of course, a very good item as well for his team because he's going to be facing a lot of harassment from Ophelia. Ophelia, by the way, doesn't have his Ring of Sorcery yet. Probably his items are going to be Ring of Sorcery, Energizer, that Astrolabe as well. Those are very helpful towards him and his creeps. So yeah.
Yep, that's gonna be the case. That's 7 minutes in, still 2-2. Pause is definitely going away, and that is also gonna be evident so far. Flame Meister, man, is still gonna be level 7. He needs a little bit extra level as well as items, and we're gonna be able to just nicely see that. That's a mid lane. We got Revenant here and Engineer. That's gonna be pretty good. And still no engagement happening here just yet, but it is a lot of extra aggression, and you can tell even the tensions nicely building up in the mid lane. It is going to be really good to see a little bit of an extra gang. And there goes a hook, reeling in a Revenant. Revenant goes in with a ball lightning counter, and it's just dealing a lot of damage onto Glacius. Glacius in a lot of trouble. The Keg is going to connect, pick up the kill. That's pretty good to see. Here comes the Tempest. Tempest doesn't have the Void, and he doesn't have much to offer, but at least the stun's going to help pick up the kill there. And yet Snaja picking up the kill on support. It's going to be pretty good to see. There goes the hook again, and Mr. Suns is on the ball today, but the ball lightning goes out. Prison Break going to be used, and Prison Break going really in at Revenant again. Revenant in trouble. Revenant goes down. That's going to be really good for Team S2y. And on the flip side, bottom lane, a little bit of extra aggression here, but Warbase is going to be okay.
Wow, really well played by Myth S2y, man. They pick up 2 kills in mid lane, and they're probably going to do a lot of chip damage to the defense tower. Engineer's probably going to try to defend this, or deny this, but I think he should be careful because Prisoner always has that hook available. They're going to get this tower, no issues. They pop the glyph as well. Here comes Massive Arms in the background. Engineer could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but Engineer should be really careful, and we're already camping on the high ground looking down on him there. He could just decide whether he want to kill him with just one shot or not, but in general, can we see shots being fired today? And that's it. Engineer gonna get reeled in along with the creeps. That's gonna be really cute, and in general gonna help a lot, and with the farming as well. It seems like they're going for the creeps, but not for the Engineer. Engineer is just a byproduct in that kind of situation, and just nicely pick up the kill as well. Jacob Tian there is the carry after all, so that's gonna help a lot in terms of S2y's farm today. And 3k goalie for Team S2y. They are still on the steamroll, but still they have not addressed the PM yet.
Yeah, it was really well played by the hook again. Just that blind hook coming in for Prisoner 945. Mr. Sun's doing a really good job with those hooks. I think he hasn't missed a single one today, but yeah, I mean, he's just doing a really good job so far for his team. They picked up a lot of kills. They get a tier 1 mid. They stop a lot of the aggression coming from this Legion team. Ophelia is, I think, yeah, he's level 6 right now, so he has that heal to work with. He actually popped it a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for them. Warbeast is level 6, by the way. He's gonna get his Steam boost very soon, and after that, probably gonna transition into Abyssal Skull to farm a little bit faster, unless he wants to go for that Shrunken Head and take early team fights with the rest of his team.
Yep, that's it. Prisoner 945 now level 7 is gonna try and go bottom to gang a little bit. He already has got invisibly room prop already, so it's gonna be pretty good for the gang here at the bottom lane. Ophelia gonna be hugged along by the creeps, but it is gonna be okay for Ophelia. But the main target should be the PM, and they are gonna come in to address the carry now. It's gonna be a completely invisible Prisoner. Oh my god, man. Flame Master will not know what hit him. There goes the nice stun there. Even a Prison Break gonna be used, and Shackle at the same time. Piper Master gets reeling with the old ball and chain, and down goes PM. It's not going to see a Prime Minister day today. That's it, 6-3, and almost 10 minutes into this game. 3k goalie for Team HoN.
Yeah, really well played, man. That was huge. Again, Prisoner 945 doing a lot of work for his team. Mr. Sun just constantly roaming around, getting whatever he can for the rest of his teammates. And now they're gonna continue onto this bottom defense tower and try to do as much damage as possible towards it. And I think they can even port back mid and support and like not support, defend this. But there's a lot of heroes from this Legion team right now.
That's a mid lane. Seems like a little bit extra stuff happening here, but that hook is only gonna connect on the Minotaur, and that's gonna be okay. He will not be good if he just nicely landed the hook, because that's gonna mean that 2 or 3 of the members from denial esports is gonna nicely chomp on Prisoner, and it might be a little bit of extra work there because Prisoner is pretty tanky, but still he is not gonna want to fight a 1 versus 4 kind of situation. Here comes the backup. Jacob Tien, as well as Glacius, gonna be in his vicinity. Tempest also as well, so they need to be really careful. It's gonna be a question who's gonna pop the Audi first. Is it gonna be the Tempest or the Keeper? It's gonna be a deny, so no fight here, and Legion team gonna fall back really nicely. Prisoner Illusion gonna be chasing them, and the Cax gonna be used to just nicely propel support a little bit forward.
Yeah, this good deny there. I mean, s2y, a lot of things is working into their favor right now. They picked the tier 1 tower bottom. You see even Warbeast was continuing to farm bottom. He wasn't even necessary, needed over there at the middle lane. They defended that very, very successfully, and that's the power of the Prisoner 945. You're constantly aware and trying to avoid that hook that comes out, because if he hooks you in, you're most probably going to die. I guess in that kind of situation, if he did hook Keeper though, it could probably have turned around very, very differently, but of course there is a Tempest to still be wary about.
And there we go, speaking of the Keeper hook, he is just nicely being hooked in. There's also War of Rev in his area, and Keeper a lot of trouble. Keeper's gonna land a root or not, down he goes. Doesn't have the opportunity to just nicely call the roots from below the ground, and that's not gonna be good at all to see for Team Denial Esports. Right now 5k gold lead going to s2y. s2y is really doing a pretty good job, and they are just nicely knocking on the tier 2 with a Tempest Elemental Replicate as well. Tempest has got that Void of cooldown, so you might want to use that as well. Here comes the Babael Master using the show on Tempest. Tempest in trouble. Here comes also the Revenant going in to just do a lot of extra damage, and he wants to put the Void in the Void! Where's the Void? He goes down nicely on 3 members, but here comes the Keeper to also nicely cancel that out, and that being said, Glacius now going to try and run away. He should be okay, but Keeper is hot pursuit, and on the flip side, Prisoner is just nicely picking up the kill on Zilep. The Zilep takes the fall for his team, and in general, a 2-to-2 kind of exchange, and it's so far so good, except for the fact that the carry on Team Hellbound actually died.
Yeah, great team fight for Denial. They did have to force the buyback though, coming up from Mickey on the Keeper of the Forest to cancel the, to help in the team fight in the middle lane there. A major problem in that team fight was the fact that Prisoner 945 was a little bit too far from his team. He tried to use the, he only used the Prison Break on the, who was it, the Puppet Master only, and only him alone, so it didn't really help out as much. The Elemental Void was used, but after that there was no extra follow-up. Like Glacius couldn't do much. Master of Arms, I think he was getting gone on by the Revenant. Like, Revenant really did a good job. Probus, really, really well played by him to actually go and initiate onto the Hellburn team.
Probus doing a fantastic job. 1-1 and 3 Probus, the Revenant just went in there with the Stormblades nicely just storming on every single one from the Hellbound team. And you don't want to be in that kind of a spot, but there's nothing you can really do against a Revenant. That being said, the Tempest was just a little bit too stunned up by the Puppet Masters. A nice show, by the way. The Puppet show actually was the main reason why Tempest wasn't in a good spot to put forth the Void. And that's it. Actually, both ultimates going to be on cooldown right now. And the Root with a slightly slower, or in a slightly shorter cooldown, he is going to be able to just nicely use that in the next team fight. So maybe they want to exploit this opportunity where there is no Tempest ultimate and nicely set up for a push. It could also be in their favor there.
I mean, they could push if they wanted to, but I don't think it's as necessary. They just want to make sure that Puppet Master gets as much farm as possible. They could potentially gank Warbeast at the bottom lane. Warbeast has his Abyssal Skull, by the way, so he's gonna farm a lot more faster. Gonna look towards his Shrunken Head as his next item. Portal Key just finished by Revenar, so that's a huge item pickup for him. The initiation potential bottom lane though misses it.
Yeah, he misses the ball lining. Probus, unfortunate enough it seems for him, and Warbeast is gonna be okay. Warbeast was just nicely dancing about with Metamorphosis there. He is forced to use his ultimate, and that's not gonna be really effective in terms of pushing, but bottom lane tier 1 is gonna be nicely addressed, and PM is gonna be here, man. PM deals a shit ton of damage onto the tier 1, and you need to be really careful against this hero. That said, Revenant also gonna knock on the tier 1. Tier 1 is gonna take the fall wall, whereas there's gonna be a tier 2 push, a slight push there, but the pod's coming in really hard. Root's gonna be used as well. That's the carry, Jacob Tien. He got completely abandoned. He's gonna try and run away right now, but the Keeper Dogs just nicely going in, and there goes the stun from Revenant. Revenant picks up the kill, and that's pretty good to see that as well. Maybe not Revenant, but Mickey there picks up the kill, and that's gonna be good for Team Legion at least. Denial esports, man, they are just on the roll right now, and s2y, they just ditched the carry. That's not gonna be good when you have a carry that needs to run.
Yeah, just really unfortunate for them. Good defense there coming from Denial Esports. Even though they didn't pick up the kill onto the Warbeast at the bottom lane, they forced the tower kill. Warbeast did try to deny that with his dogs, but unfortunately was not able to do it. Prisoner 945 is with Invis at the top lane, but he's just by himself. The rest of his team is so far away. I don't think he wants to try anything over here.
Prisoner, top lane, is completely invisible, but here comes the spot in by the Rebno. Rebno goes in for the extra stun potential on Tempest. Tempest is a little trouble. Tempest doesn't have the Void in just 10 seconds. Can he wait for that? I don't think so. He's gonna die today. And Prison Break gonna miss as well. Ophelia pops the LD. That's gonna heal most of the mates there. It's gonna be really good to see as well. The Dust's gonna be used, and there goes the stun keg onto Prisoner Knife for 5. Mr. Sun's a little bit of trouble there. He's gonna hook them in, but it's not gonna be really effective. And he is just nicely walled in by the energy field, and he also takes the fall. Tempest does buy back, but Tempest is completely silenced by an energy field. He goes in though, wants to pot a big void, but doesn't have the opportunity to do that. That say though, there's a keeper in his vicinity. He's gonna pot a nice Ward of Rev. Ward of Rev gonna spy him for just a really short distance. And on the flip side though, Glacius takes the fall, and here comes a flying angry Hellhound, and that's gonna be the granddaddy of them all. That's a Warbase trying to bite on the Ophelia, but Zilab is gonna be nicely saved by the keeper. Keeper making great plays today to nicely save most of his teammates. He's in a little bit of trouble. And here goes the Void. He's just nicely knocking on Revenor as well as Keeper Force. Keeper is gonna be okay, but here comes the Puppet Master to just nicely knock on MOA. MOA a lot of trouble, and can they save the carry? I don't think so. Not today. And down goes MOA. It seems like Puppet Master is gonna have the ability to stay on top of that fight, and it's gonna be Warbase against PM. PM is gonna be just very low in terms of health, but there's a good Keeper in his vicinity, so Keeper is gonna be able to make sure that that carry is gonna be safe. And on the flip side, in general, that's gonna be a nice 3-3 kind of exchange. And Warbase is alive, yes, and so is the Tempest, but they did lose the MOE again.
Yeah, S2y just played that really messily. Legion team got a huge amount of gain out of that, and Mickey, by the way, it was really good work by him with the Nature's Veil, saving a lot of teammates in that team fight because there was no extra invis revelation from Hellburn team. They only had dust on the Glacius, I think, who eventually died after that. So really unfortunate for Hellburn team to not be able to pick up anything else other than a couple of kills over there. The Element of Void was used, but of course they were all over the place. Like after the puppet show, so not the puppet show, the Voodoo puppet was used from Puppet Master onto the Master of Arms. They were just like all over the place. They were thinking, should I go attack this guy or should I continue on someone else? And I don't know. Like everyone was just so I don't know. I just don't know.
It's just really messy there. That's a 400 gold lead for Team Hellbound. They just completely eroded away the lead that they had. And 12 is to 10 s2y with a slight amount of lead so far. 17 minutes into this game. Legion team needs to make sure that they are just able to nicely milk on this kind of a, you know, nice little tension that they have against s2y. s2y is just a little bit too far behind in this kind of situation, but they definitely have got still what it takes to win this game. You have got Warbase, nice boost potential. You also have got the Tempest. Both of them have got pretty good pushing potential together. Plus the fact that Prisoner as well as the Tempest has got pretty good ultimate. So you want to just take team fights right now, but they're going to wait for the Void to be off cooldown before they take the next big team fight. And on the Legion side, however, you got pretty good synergy coming from every single one of them. Maybe the hero drops is just not as good in terms of magical damage and AoE burst potential, but they still have got a lot of synergy playing together for a very long time.
Yeah, Warbeast is gonna get that Shrunken Head very soon. Hopefully, he once he has that, he's gonna be able to do a lot of work, especially against the Legion lineup. But Energy Field will be of no concern to him once he gets that Shrunken Head. He's just gonna go around and start biting on people. But the thing is, like, denial.esports, they have a lot of an advantage right now. Keeper even has the portal key now, so his main job is just gonna be to just sit back and wait for Tempest to pop up that Elemental Void and then just jump in and cancel everything else out. The good thing is that Tempest, he is kind of building towards more of that team fight presence, and that will help out a lot because while Keeper is just trying to, Nature's Veil the rest of his teammates and constantly use out the enemy forest, he can't really jump in with the route to actually, force a team fight or anything like that, because if that happens, Tempest is going to have, by all means, the ability to just use his Elemental Void with ease.
That's going to be the case so far. 18 minutes in, and it seems like support is going to be spotted by the Hellhound. Hellhound going to be able to just nicely gnaw onto support. Support is going to be okay. It was just one bite or two. Couldn't really hurt. Anyway, that's Rosie. And Rosie here today is going to be in a nice little love triangle as usual.
Yeah, I mean, like, support's just doing a good job in this game. He even warded out the Hellburn camp from this Hellburn jungle. Ancient camp, sorry, and that's gonna cause a lot of problems for our Hellburn team if they don't deward this as soon as possible, because they're actually losing a lot of farm right now. The triple stack Ancient is being addressed right now by Puppet Master. He even has the Assassin Shroud already, so the next item is gonna be that Shrunken Head, and he's gonna do a lot of work after that.
Yeah, but it's gonna be the case. That's it. 19 minutes in already, and 12 to 10. Still 1 key goal lead for s2y. They still have got a slight lead here. They better make sure that they don't throw it away. Prisoner 945 gonna be nicely leading this charge here onto the sentry defense against Kongor. Kongor is gonna be okay. And here comes the Keeper 3 Dogs to just nicely knock on Kongor to also show the fact that they know what the hell's happening here. And the Kong attempt is gonna be called off. And also, Major General here, it is going to be pretty good to see that Team Legion is just nicely coming into the area where Congo is just nicely seated as well. Hellborn team going to have to force themselves to call it quits and nicely pull back. Whereas for Legion team, they're just going to sit on the upslope area to just wait to see if there is going to be a further Congo approach. This is mainly due to the fact that they have pretty good wards in this area.
Yeah, that double damage, by the way, a good pickup by, who was it? By Revenor over there. Bottom lane, I think there was just a port out by someone. So far, Prisoner 945 has been very, very quiet. He actually has a Mighty Blade in his inventory. He purchased the Helmet of Victim before that though, so kind of curious as to why he decided to go for that kind of route instead of just building straight up into one item. He has a couple of mixed match items over here. Tempest, not sure what the next item is going to be for him. Warbeast, he does have 2k in the bank. He's probably going to quickly rush for that Shrunken Head like I mentioned earlier. And Keeper of the Forest, I'm curious to see what next item he's going to go for.
Yep, curious as well. Want to see what Team Legion can really offer. But that's a denial esports, man. Look at that. 2 Polity Key up already. 1 on the Keeper, 1 on Revenor. Both of them looking for extra initiation kind of a method. And you also got shot completed on Puppet Master. That's going to be really sick because PM now will probably have free roam in his lane as well as the map, in fact. And you don't have much of a Ward of Wrath coming from Team Hellborn side. I would believe that, yep, they only got 1 in this bottom river area, but they will definitely want to carry a little bit more extra Dust of Revelation, which is why almost 3 members and 3 out of 5 members actually have got Dust of Revelation on them. That's going to be really good against the PM. They know that there's a Shroud already on Puppet Master, so they are going to nicely defend themselves with that. And not going to give him free reign in terms of engagement, but that is still restricted access. And that's a bottom lane. The gang's going to happen real soon. PM is going to try and catch on the Warbeast. Warbeast is just nicely baiting him in, but here comes the extra pots. He should have just nicely baited the Puppet Master's hole and subsequent auto attacks, but nope, it's not going to be the case. That's a PM is just going to nicely get sent back home. So that's going to be pretty good gameplay coming from the Ophelia.
Yep, really well played by them. They're just gonna, you know, milk on whatever resource they can to harass the Hellborn team. That's really good use there of the Ophelia sent back, and I think he wanted to get sent back anyways. He's gonna do a triple stack Ancients soon. He's using the Minotaur to stack out that Ancient camp, which is gonna be stacked right now. That's triple, oh no, not triple, sorry, double Dragons and Predators. He's gonna get a lot of farm out of that. Master of Arms only has the Firebrand and the Energizer, by the way, so no other real items just yet for him.
Yep, no other real items just here for him. PM definitely need a little bit more extra damage kind of items, but he might actually want to go for the Shrunken Head first, seeing that there is already a Mighty Blade in his inventory. He should be looking at Shrunken Head. Shrunken Head is going to help him a lot in terms of major team fights. It should be able to just nicely run away from the stun effect from both the MOA as well as the Glaciers, and that is going to help him a lot to just you know, sustain on the mobility. That's going to help him in team fights because you don't want to get locked down by Team Hellborn.
Yeah, I mean, if you get locked down by Team Hellborn, you're pretty much over because Warbeast is just gonna chomp on your ass, and you can't do anything after that. The Elemental Void, by the way, is gonna be a huge factor. There is 2k gold saved up in Tempest right now. I'm not sure if that's gonna translate towards a Portal Key or not, but I would like to see more team fight items instead of the Portal Key, unless he's 100% sure that he can pull off a huge Elemental Void against the Legion lineup.
Yep, and here comes Team Hellborn, nicely on to their own Hellborn jungle, and we also see Keeper in this area. Keeper actually going to be able to just nicely plot away, that's going to be good. And speaking about Keeper of Forest, I do want to see him with the Restoration Stone very soon. He already has got the major initiation item, that will be the big portal key, but he still needs the Restoration Stone to just make sure that there's going to be extra root being used, and that's going to help his team to secure the lockdown. That's what his team needs right now. For the PM, secure the lockdown, PM gets the kill.
Yeah, if he locks down a lot of the heroes coming from Hellborn team, PM's just gonna have the free reign to just auto attack them to death. He's doing a decent amount of damage now. He doesn't have a Shrunken Head just yet. Definitely needs that item if they want to take a team fight next. Prisoner 945, looking at his items, he's still sitting on the same item surprisingly. I'm not sure what he's gonna go for. He only has 1.3k in the bank. I'm not sure if he purchased anything in his stash just yet. The courier doesn't show anything. Warbeast with that Shrunken Head already, so that's really, really good for him. Top lane though, they're trying to set up a gank onto this Keeper of the Forest.
Yep, that's it. The dust is going to be used here, but Keeper is nowhere close to being spotted. If the dust really land in the kind of situation, it's going to be really ridiculous. Look at the range, man.
Yep, it's really, really big, and Ophelia has been pretty quiet in this game, I've noticed. He does have Astrolabe and his Ring of Sorcery on top of the Plated Greaves as well. Not sure what his next item is going to be. Is it going to be the Energizer? I think Energizer is pretty good for his team because it will offer his creeps as well the ability to quickly get into the team fight and, you know, use that stuns. He has 2 Skeleton Kings because he wants to be prepared to cancel out the Elemental Void from Tempest. Tempest, by the way, did opt to go for that Portal Key, so he wants to get that huge Elemental Void off against this Legion lineup.
Alright, so now's the moment where all viewers just nicely go to sleep because this is just such a long drawn game here and still not much of a form of an initiation or engagement yet. HoN team is just taking so slow to push this, and denial is just not gonna try and milk on this as well because they are also wanting a little bit extra fun for the PM, and that's gonna be pretty good. That said, Flimeister actually picks up the kill on ESC, so a little bit gonna see a little bit of extra engagement happening there, and that's the Warbase. So Warbase gets a little bit of extra regulation, but it's just Shrunken Head already completed on Warbase, so he doesn't really need much item, he just needs a little bit more extra damage, and that's gonna be really good for him.
Yeah, really well played by Puppet Master.
Mid lane, there goes the Revenant to kill JKT, and that is going to be the support onto the main hero there. That will be the carry. Carry goes down. JKT gets addressed. That's going to be really bad to see. Root's going to be forced out there, but it should be okay. Keeper, man, he already has got Sustainer looking for Restoration Stone really quickly as well, and it's going to be 12 to 12 so far. 1.9k gold lead for Team Denial. Denial now is in the lead, and s2y is in denial.
Yeah, s2y really is in denial now because they're going to get a tier 2 tower over here from this denial esports team. They're gonna even address bottom as well, which is really good for them. Helper team, they can't really take a team fight now. Master Farms is still dead. Warpies, I mean, I can't believe he got picked off by the Puppet Master by himself. He should have been a little bit more careful, but of course Puppet Master with that insane amount of lockdown with the Puppet Show on top of the Voodoo Puppet is just gonna do a lot of damage towards this Warpies. Although Warpies is kind of tanky himself, 1.5k HP, but he died relatively quickly against this Puppet Master, who does have his Shrunken Head finished right now.
Yep, that's it. Stuff is definitely looking good for Team Legion right now, and in general, we are only left with the top lane tier 2 that is standing for Team HoN. Whereas for Team Legion, all tier 2s are still standing. Yes, both sides doesn't have any more tier 1, so that's gonna be pretty fair in general. But look at that, man. Team Denial esports now has got the extra gold lead. They also got extra farm and just waiting for Keeper to finish on his Restoration Stone, and that's gonna help the entire team with lockdown, and that's what I want to see, man. 8 seconds lockdown. It's like a holding cell.
Yeah, 8 seconds lockdown on that Keeper is just gonna be so awesome, but he's gonna need that level 16 burst, which I think he most probably will get by the time he finishes that Restoration Stone, because he's constantly taking team fights with the rest of his team. They're even trying to look at this Kong kill though. Minotaur actually gonna be sent in by Zlap, and they're just gonna back off coming up from s2y.
Yep, that's good because that said, it seems like, well, Kongor is going to be pretty much left alone here because there's a lot of tension in this area. Kongor is going to be really unsettled because of that as well, and he's going to nicely be very angry once they do go there. And there goes the hook, but it's not going to be possible because Keeper there has got a Paul Key, so a nice clutch play by Mickey. Mickey, they're doing a really good job in this game. 27 minutes in already, and still waiting for Restoration Stone to be completed on Mickey, but Mickey doesn't have it just yet. He did a little bit more extra farm, looking for the space to farm, and in fact, the entire team going to back away from the mid lane just to give him that. And that's really good communication as well. And on the flip side, Puppet Master being the only thing that's farming in the Ancient, Puppet Master should be looking at extra damage as well. I will really be pissed off if Flame Master goes for the Genjuro straight up right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess so, but I don't know, I think Genjuro isn't that bad of an option at this point on. He wants to quickly burst down the heroes coming from Hellburn team, like things like the Tempest or even like the War Beast, as long as he's able to really dish a lot of damage towards them, and the extra mobility and that slow from the auto attack is not that bad.
Okay.
But he's gonna go for that not Shrunken Head, sorry, the Savage Mace, which is even better, and I really love that option coming up from Puppet Master.
Yeah, the last time I saw a Savage Mace, it came along with a Ferrari as well as a Lamborghini on Dark Lady, if you do remember the cast. It's really awesome. And that being said, man, this game is still gonna be well underway. 5.7k gold lead already on Team DnL esports way, and they're gonna nicely march to the top lane with torches, and Tar gonna boot this up on fire. And HoN team and s2y, a little bit sad to see that they just threw away the lead that they had, and they already have got pretty good stuff on most of the heroes there. In general, Warwick is still stuck in time, locked in time capsule, doesn't have much of an item just yet, but MOA is just failing so badly. He doesn't even have much items. Okay, sorry, he just now nicely showed me his Jomina's main, so that's gonna be pretty fair as well, coming for the MOA.
Yep, MOA with that Geometers means he's gonna be able to pop out from only one route though. He still doesn't have the Shrunken Head, and he definitely still needs a lot more items to be much more effective as a carry in this game. Like Shrunken Head, and then on top of that he needs the Shield Breaker, and then something like a Savage Mace, and just do a lot of right-click auto attack damage. That Puppet Master is gonna out DPS him right now. Like the DMG on him is just so high. And you look again at Warp soloing Kong, but they know they're fully aware of this right now. You see Keeper of the Forest.
Here comes Keeper, Mother Nature trying to punish the bad wolf there. It's pretty much a fairy tale come true. And 30 minutes gonna be up real soon. 12 to 12 still. in terms of kill, you can't see the lead, but yes, there's a 7k goal lead for Team Legion as in general because of a lot of extra push that they did already. In fact, all the tier 2 wiped off the map here for Team Hellborn, and Hellborn needs to nicely defend this spot here. It could be really bad for them because if they just go down right now, there is no more tier 2 to protect the tier 3, and that's going to mean that a push is going to be pretty much warranted coming from Team Legion side. Legion is just playing it really cool, and the team surrounding Zlab is just nicely making very few mistakes and being very careful with the play, making sure that they jump in at the right moment, and they want to be really sure right now because Congo attempt is still well underway, and they have complete good vision there because of the water sight by support here that nicely spot out that attempt. They must want to go in to jump in right now, and they're just waiting for the right moment. Do they know when's the right moment? That's the question. HoN's going to be able to just nicely spot them out there, and it's again going to be called off. So they thought it's the right moment, but here comes the Minotaur. It's nice to see for once the Minotaur actually lead the entire pack.
Yeah, Minotaur with that stun ability is just really good. If a hero was, you know, bashed in by Kong, let's just say for example, an extra stun coming up from Minotaur would just mean that they're probably going to go and initiate onto them. But anyways, it seems like they're kind of stuck at a stalemate right now. That good old Mexican standoff. They're actually going to try to kill the Minotaur, which they actually fail over there.
Yeah.
They do a decent amount of damage to it at least. The keeper trees are doing such a good job of scouting right now. Mickey with a really good job. Here
comes Revenor, but it misses the ball lightning. A little bit sad to see as well. And speaking about wards, man, look at what support's doing. He's just warding up this ward spot here. As in he's just mining up this ward spot here with spider mines, laying eggs at that. And that's not going to be good for the warder there. And it's going to really just piss off most of the members coming from the Hellborn team should they want to ward up the area. I mean, the spider mine is definitely going to be just enough to just wipe out the support. And that's just Glacius with just 700 health points. And that's it though, Hellborn team still wanting to kill Kong, man. They want to kill Kong so badly, but they don't have what it takes right now.
Yeah, they don't. And in fact, you see Legion team is going to be the aggressors right here. They're going to go in themselves, and that means Hellborn team is going to be stuck into a really perilous situation, and I don't think they can really take this team fight right now. It really depends on a lot of the execution that's going to happen. Here we go.
Revenant jumps on Glacius. Glacius first to fall, and that's going to be 4v5 straight up even before the fight begins. And there goes also Warbis. Warbis gets nicely truncated, and that will nicely cancel out the damage. A little bit too late, but it's going to be okay. Here goes Tempest. Where's the Void? Am I going to see the Void? No, he is just completely lost. He's like, oh my god, who am I going to Void right now? He just doesn't do anything and just dies like that. That's it though. Here comes the Keeper's Root. Nice to see that's completely reliable as well. And that will nicely lock on the Tempest. Tempest takes the ball. Prisoner 945. Now a lot of trouble. Prisoner also goes down. And it's all going to be left with the MOA. MOA is in a lot of trouble, man, guys. He's going to be trying to run away this, but Grand Theft Auto is not going to be the name of this game. He is not going to have a good time. That's it. Goes. Ball lightning lands nicely. Jacob Tian, a lot of trouble. Jacob Tian going to go down today for sure. And that's it. Team Legion is in a good spot. Denial, man. They are definitely having a lead so far. 10k goal lead. The snowball is just on the roll.
Yeah, really poorly played there by s2y. They even forced another buyback from Tempest. He wasted his element of void like shit. He didn't hit anything, got instantly cancelled up at the ball lightning from Revenor, and then on top of that the root was used, and like I mean, it was just a really messy team fight again. Here we go.
Here comes Revenant again, going to be sniping onto the MOA as well as the Glaciers, but it's going to be pretty fine. The ice going to fall from the sky really quickly. Glacier downfall being used here, but Revenant takes the fall. But at what cost? Now it seems like Prisoner 945 is going to be the only thing standing inside the area. ESC took the fall. That, by the way, is going to be the war base. And, well, Tempest has still got the Void already being used, so he doesn't have it yet. And that's not going to be good for him. And there's also a Keeper just in Hopper, so the Keeper still no Restoration Zone, so nothing there just there for him. But it's going to be really bad for s2y because Jacob Tian takes the fall there, and that's not going to be good at all. And on the flip side, Puppet Master completely shrunken in there looking for the kill right now. Oh, he's just such a slap to the face. Look at that. 850 hit. It's just such a huge slap. It's even worse than a mom slap, man.
Yeah, that was a huge bitch slap indeed. And I mean, as a team like Hellborn, they kind of deserve to lose that team fight because they just went in way too much. Like that overextension was way too much. Restoration Stone done already on Keeper of the Forest. They gotta go ahead and push this defense tower here. Prisoner 945 again misses that hook over there. Like s2y had a good early game, but now they're just completely throwing it away.
They had a lead, but nope, they don't have it anymore, and they just lost it completely. Now gonna try and win back this game, but nope. It's the best of one. 30k goal for Team Denial. Denial is in a pretty good spot, I'd say. s2y will not give up so easily, and Millie Barracks actually down already, tier 3 as well. But here comes the stun onto the PM. PM a little bit of trouble. PM actually should be fine, but Shackle's gonna be used quickly, and he's also gonna be revealed. He doesn't know that, but the sandbag though, that sandbag is top 10. Let me just tell you that Zlab is doing such a good job with the sandbag.
Huge sandbag there by Zlab. I mean, that saved his teammate. He would have 100% died there had he not gotten the sandbag. He's an inch closer to finishing up that Savage Mason. That's gonna be another huge item for him. s2y, man, they can't find any space to do anything right now. Although the token is up on Prisoner 945, what's it really gonna do for you?
It's pretty good. That's it. Team Legion now is just nicely going back to the farm again, and we definitely will have Restoration Stone completed on Mickey there. Mickey is looking for double root, and with double root again, that's gonna be very bad for Team Hellborn. They don't have double Tempest Void. They only have got one up, and it's gonna be up in just about 13 seconds thereabouts, and that would be really good for them. But in general, Bao9 completed on Tempest. Tempest is just playing pure support right now. He doesn't have even much survival items built on him yet, and that's gonna be really bad. Only 1.3k health, very squishy. Puppet Master, you just saw the 800 slap to the face. Now with Savage Mage, it should be about 1000. So if the slap goes onto the Tempest is definitely gonna die quickly.
Yeah, Tempest could probably die, especially if the procs do come out from the Savage Mace. That could be another thing. He's actually critting for 965 over there, so that's pretty damn strong. Around 900, almost to a K, and that's gonna do a lot of damage against this Hellborn team. Ophelia has that Barrier Idol and Soul's Power completed already, so that's really good for his team. A lot of team fight items over there for him. Keeper with the Restoration Stone, like I mentioned earlier. Refinar with that. Well, he had the Insanitors for a really long time. Engineer is gonna try to build up a tablet of command for himself, but yeah, I think like Legion team is way too many items now for s2y to actually take a team fight.
Yep, that's good because that's a 20 is to 15, 13k goal lead for Team Legion, and they are just looking to be really good so far. Revenor level 17 already with Insanitarius, as well as that Shrunkenhead, plus the fact he also got Poly Key. That's gonna be really good for Revenor. Probus here is just doing such an insane amount of job, in terms of damage as well. Puppet Master with double damage, that's gonna hit for a shit ton of damage, and they might want to try and do a little bit extra push right now, but nope, they don't have all the members in this bottom lane, so they are gonna call it off again. And this is just really slow coming from both teams.
Yeah, really slow indeed. I'm actually surprised that they don't want to just take up a straight up team fight. And I don't know, like let's see. You look at Keeper of the Forest. That Restoration Stone is like probably the best item for them to actually go and push in right now. Like I don't know why they don't want to take a team fight. They by all means can easily win against this Hellborn lineup. So what if there's a token on the Prisoner 9 for her? I guess they just want to play a little bit more safe, of course, for sure. Since this, they want to win whatever game they can as much as possible. DnL esports, they want to be on top of this. This is yeah, Group A in this group stages. So yeah.
Yep, this is definitely going to be Group A. It is still looking to be pretty good. And part of Group A is also the SG and IG teams, and SG already won one, so they want to try and make sure that, you know, at least they get a little bit extra spot going to the semifinals, or rather the relegation matches, and that is what they're aiming for so far. And so far, Dreamhack just began, man, and a lot of extra hype going to be around this one, because there is also denial.esports in this Dreamhack, and that is looking to be really good. Denial.esports, man, they are looking to just take away the first win against s2y, and look at that, PM gonna nicely slap 955 damage there with the Voodoo Puppet already used, but where's the Shrunkenhead? That guy was dreaming.
You couldn't shrunken it because you got the what's it called, the
Shoat.
puppet show onto himself,
Yeah, Shoat.
and just because of the mass amount of damage
the
from
finished what, isn't it? I thought it finished.
no, the mass amount of damage from Puppet Master is just too insane. The puppet show lasts for a really long time, and when you use the Voodoo Puppet bottom lane actually.
Yep, gang happening here quickly, and Forest, Keeper Forest a little bit of trouble there, and down goes the MOA. MOA already completely addressed there. So now MOA that's Glaciers. Glaciers goes down, and Keeper also goes down, so there is no root that is being used just yet. And we also got the MOA now a lot of trouble. MOA finally takes the fall. And here comes the Ophelia as well. Ophelia Zilab with a pretty interesting choice of creeps that double Leoric stuns. Pretty good to see that. Also is the Flammeister, and that would also be the PM. PM in this vicinity looking for extra push. As to why they don't have enough members to defend this spot here. With only 2 members in the squad, only the Tempest as well the Prisoner. I don't expect much to be done there. That's it. A nice hook there, but is it gonna be enough? That's the question. Here comes the buyback from the MOA. MOA lands a nice stun. Zilab a lot of trouble, but there goes the void! With all 3 members nicely being addressed there. But look at that, Revenor. That's what I call a good cancellation. And Revenor just nicely slapping down Tempest, and you go back to hell, son. And he just completely got addressed. And that's it. It seems like the tokens can be used as well. Prisoner 945 comes back alive, but that's not gonna be enough. That goes also the Warbeast just biting on Ophelia. Ophelia, man, that's gonna be really tasty. Ophelia takes the fall, and on the flip side, Prisoner also gets addressed. Revenor now tries to run away, and Warbeast is just still on the run in this kind of situation. But a Puppet Assault is gonna be used, and it's gonna be a GG well played. Legion team's gonna win that one.
Huge team fight for Hellborn. I mean Legion team, sorry. You can't win against a team with so many items. Like Legion team, holy shit, they had so much farm that Hellborn just couldn't do anything, even if they wanted to try you know, to defend the base. They can't do much against all the items coming from this Legion lineup.
Yeah, but that's gonna be the case. That segment is a really great game going for denial esports. denial esports gonna win this one against that of s2y. s2y, man, they are definitely gonna have to work a lot more in the later stages of today as well as tomorrow to make sure that they at least have a slot in the semifinals. That's gonna be the main aim for them, to at least see themselves in the top 4 spot. And that being said, denial, huge congratulations to you guys winning just cast the next game real soon, and gonna show you guys the schedule for our cast today. And it's gonna be a really exciting one. I do believe the next game gonna be between SG and s2y, and that would be a pretty interesting series from the Group A stages. And it's gonna start in just about a few moments right now. I do believe that it actually is gonna begin, or rather should have began, but because of a little bit extra delay from the Dreamhack side, we are not able to just nicely stream it on time. So don't worry about that. Still, the next game's gonna be up real soon, so do stay tuned for that. We'll be back for more action. This is Babael. Joining me today is Larcms. See you guys in just a short while. Goodbye.